Megan Olivi here, and I am joined by the former UFC bantamweight champion, Dominick Cruz, who takes on TJ Dillashaw in Boston on January 17th. Dominick, thanks so much for joining me.
Here I am, glad to be here.
Obviously, you've had some time off. So you're working towards this fight in January, but during that time off, anything new that really sparked your interest over the couple of years?
I've really just focused on, working on Fox, doing a lot of stuff with TV the best I can so that I can set something up whenever I'm done fighting and when I'm fighting still.
You have quickly become one of the best analysts in the game. I don't know if people necessarily knew that you were so fight savvy about explaining fights and breaking them down, and also so TV savvy. I mean, it works for you. Is that something you knew you always wanted to do, or just because of your situation, you decided to morph into that?
Exactly what you just said. I kind of had to morph into it. You got to work with the cards you're dealt. And I didn't like being out. And to be honest, the first time Fox asked me to come on and do some work with TV and breaking down fights, I was like, I don't know if I want to put my energy into this. I need to focus on rehab. I need to focus on getting healthy so I can get back in there and make money fighting, because really all my eggs have been in one basket. So I started just changing my energy from fighting 100% a little bit to TV while I was healing, and then it just made things kind of click. And Fox was always real good at giving me constructive criticism and fixing things here and there, and then it just kind of came together.
All he's got to do is get that clinch and look for the takedown like Bisping's been talking about, because he does have a huge distinct advantage on the ground.
Do you feel like mentally it gave you a reprieve from thinking about your injuries or thinking about how long you've been out or will be out?
It just kind of gave me a way to vent almost, because I can still talk about fighting. I can still, and not to mention I'm still in the game because I'm helping to break down and teach the general public what's going on with the sport, what people are doing standing up, what people are doing on the ground. And so it kind of has kept me understanding where the level of competition needs to be at when I come back. But when I get into fight camp, I actually don't watch film at all, ironically enough.
Really?
Yeah, I don't, because my brain I break things down so deeply that when it comes down to a fight, what you learn is your body's gonna do what it's gonna do, how you trained it. And the less you think, the more in the zone you can be and the more focused you are in that moment. I let my coaches, my teammates watch the film, and I trust in them because I have such faith in the mindset that they have for breaking down film, and Eric Del Faro too. If I sat and tried to watch film all day, I would drive myself crazy breaking things down, so I just don't even bother.
You've had some downtime and discovered new hobbies, but I just discovered something about you that I didn't know, which is that you're kind of a sneakerhead.
My mom had a rule, we could have shoes every 6 months because they're expensive. I was growing all the time and it just wasn't worth buying new ones because I would just demolish them when I'm growing up. Month 5, man, my toes are coming out the front of the shoes. I just wanted new shoes before school. But sometimes you couldn't do it because it wasn't month 6 before school. So I'm going to school with these trashy sneakers. So it just kind of put something in my head that when I could buy them, I'm gonna buy as many pairs of shoes as I want to when I can afford them. So now it kind of has led to a big problem.
An obsession?
Yeah.
If you had to guess, how many pairs of shoes do you think you have?
Man, probably like, there's people with hundreds, thousands, I've been on a budget. So
balling on a budget.
Yeah, I'm balling on a budget, but I'd say I probably got about 30, 40 pairs.
Do you have a favorite pair?
I think I'm wearing them. I like these ones. These are my Gucci shoes right here.
Oh, Gucci shoes. I thought you were balling on a budget. Gucci's not on a budget.
You can't have nice stuff unless you pay for it, certain things.
Right. Little dog. Dojo.
Yes. Yeah, little dojo.
Obviously with me, you're gonna have to talk about dogs. I really enjoy when tough guys have cute little dogs, because you don't need to have a giant dog to prove that you're a tough man.
That's what I try to tell people. They go, really? Like, that's your dog? And like, he's just like all happy and like, listen, I go train all day. These guys are trying to kill me. I get home from training. I got this little dog and all he wants is a hug.
Yes.
Yes. And I'm good with that. And he doesn't shed and he doesn't slobber all over everything. And I can bring him wherever I want because he's only 20 pounds. Yep. It's just more convenient with the lifestyle I live because I travel a lot. Yeah. People are willing to take a 20-pound dog over a 100-pound pit bull any day of the week. He's an alarm. So if somebody tries to break in, I can grab the samurai swords I have stashed all over my house. But I definitely have swords and axes. So like if Juan's Dojo barks, if it's the middle of the night, He gives me time to grab my sword.
So we know what you're doing on your off time, obviously, but the most important thing for you right now is healing and preparing for this fight against TJ Dillashaw. If you can, kind of explain how you mentally stayed in the right frame of mind.
As you grow in the sport, you start to understand what you know and what you don't know, and you start to have faith in your abilities. When you start to have faith in your abilities, you understand that it's a process. You're not going to be outstanding right off the bat. It takes 12 weeks to get to the point that you want to be at. I got so many tough guys to train with at Alliance that every day is a challenge.
And a great coach in Eric Del Fiero, where he's been an integral part of your career since really day one. And
yeah, he's sick in the head. He's real good at putting you in situations that you're not going to win very often, as weird as that sounds. We call it putting you in a box. You don't know what he's doing exactly until after it's all said and done. But he's just trying to paint the worst possible picture ever for you all through camp. Towards the end of it, he kind of lets you out of the box and you realize he's turned you into kind of a monster because you've already seen worst case scenario for 12, 13 weeks. And then you can go enjoy the fight because you've already seen the worst sides of training with a bunch of monsters that are preparing me.
Looking at your past few years, a lot of people would have crumbled. A lot of people wouldn't be sitting here right now. They would have given up. Is it something you learned on your own, or did you kind of form a team around you to help with this?
Obviously the team that I have. I go in there every day when I was hurt and I would watch these guys and see the hunger in their eyes and see how they're training and what they want to do. And that would actually fuel me and teach me something where I needed to be too. And then now I'm challenging myself to a whole nother extent, a whole nother level, to come back to a title fight after another ACL reconstruction against a guy who's been competing. And I've lived life without training for years. And I realized that I did a lot of things. So that has given me a lot of peace and allowed me to actually enjoy the sport and enjoy speaking and enjoy talking crap to TJ and enjoy doing this, because it's just given me a different mindset having it all taken away. I mean, I was at the pinnacle of the sport. I had basically cleared the division out. I really had. And when you can take that stress off yourself and realize that this is just a privilege and I can enjoy it, and it does. It gives you kind of a calming thought process.
Like you just said, everything can be taken away, so you're going to
I
be
have
honest and true.
nothing to fear. I have nothing to fear. I have nothing to lose.
Right.
What do I have right now?
True.
I have a world title opportunity in front of me. And I'm training through and through with every ounce of me because I enjoy the opportunity that I'm given to do it, not because I have to do it.
When you look at this matchup with TJ, what really do you see?
I see a guy who is he's kind of got a chip on his shoulder similar to me. He saw the things that I was doing that made me successful, and he didn't steal my style, but he took certain fundamentals and added them to his own. And now we're gonna go in there and see two different styles compete against each other with similar fundamentals. He brings no skill set to the table that I have not faced before. He just wants it right now. He just believes in himself. So really, it's just his confidence in himself is what's driving him right now.
Are we going to see you versus Dominick Cruz next? Is that what you want?
Let's see. Come on, Dominic.
He's right there. Tell him. Look
Heal
at
that chicken leg up and let's get after it.
Wow.
You mentioned something a little bit earlier about talking crap to him. Is it something you've been enjoying, and is it something you're doing on purpose?
The way I look at it is he's not willing to do it, and there's a reason. If you're gonna say what you're gonna do before a fight, people wanna hear that. People wanna hear why you believe in yourself. Well, why don't you tell me what you think? Why won't you put that on the line, TJ? Why won't you go out of your way to tell me why you're gonna beat me and how you're gonna beat me? Is it because you don't know how? Or is it because you can't? Or is it because you're too dumb to speak well? Or is it because you're scared of the camera? Or is it because you're fearful that everything that you're gonna say is gonna come back and bite you in the butt after I beat you? I'm not worried about that, because the truth is I'm gonna be judged by the people no matter what I do. If I say nothing, if I sit here and say, TJ's a great champion, he's fought well, I'm glad what he did for the division, and then bow to him at the end of the interview, people are gonna judge me.
Yep.
If I say, TJ's not as good as I am, TJ doesn't understand what I bring to the table, and the fact that the guys that I've beaten for world titles are still fighting for world titles, and the guys that he's fought don't exist right now in the sport. But the truth is, this prize fight is gonna teach me more in the evolution of myself than any Fox job I could ever have. It's so much pain you go through to get through it and to get to it. And I'm gonna show myself what I'm capable of through the process. And to me, that's very important.
MMA fans love a good prediction. If you had to predict how this fight goes down in Boston, what would you say?
You hear TJ say, well, Ludwig tells me I'm gonna knock him out within 2 rounds. That's pretty disrespectful to me, considering not only do I take the least damage of anybody he's ever fought, but I've never been knocked out, and I've never been knocked out in 2 rounds. That's a bold prediction from him. For me, I say I'm looking forward to going in there and fighting 5 rounds, embarrassing him if I have to. I want to go in there and hit him and hit him and hit him.
At the end of the day, camp is about the hard work, and the fight is when the work pays off, and it should be fun. Are you looking forward to that? Is it something that when you think about fight week, you almost get excited?
You know, I definitely am ready to get in there. This is such a cool thing to be able to get to do. For 3 years, nobody cared what had happened to me. Nobody wanted my autograph, really. Nobody wanted to know how I felt about a fight coming up, and you start to realize that that's why it's a blessing. Like, it doesn't just belong to you. You're not always gonna be that. So we have to enjoy this ride.
And look at him standing there, taking it all in, taking a big deep breath and realizing that he did it. A long odyssey, 3 years almost outside of the Octagon.
It's just nice to be able to be back in the mix again and enjoy this time and enjoy competing. And I can't wait to go out there and challenge myself and beat the crap out of somebody. It's such a good feeling. It releases something out of you when you do that.
I am sure we cannot wait for that fight. This is one that we've been looking forward to for a long time, but also just to see you return and to see you back in there healthy. It's always such a pleasure to watch you perform, so best of luck to you, Dominick.
Yeah, I'll be ready.
Thanks.